Hi, it's Canadian Hubby. Today I'm making something really special and unique. Pork chop tonkatsu or fried pork chop. Or at least that's what I thought until I did research on YouTube and there are hundreds of fried pork chop videos already posted. It appears that it is very common in southern United States. But still, at least in Vancouver, Canada, you rarely see fried pork chops with the bone. Whether we are talking about Japanese tonkatsu or schnitzels, they're always made from boneless pork loin or shoulder meat. Anyhow, I'm going to proceed. Today's vegetable prep is easy. The peas just need to be heated before serving. I'm using garlic and onion powder instead of fresh ones. All I need to do is to slice some mushrooms for the sauce later. For the pork chops, you can go two ways. You can leave them as is and just dredge them in flour, egg wash, and breadcrumb. The end result can be juicier because the chops are thicker and may retain moisture better. However, my pregnant wife prefers the thinner version. I guess she likes more breading and tender meat. I do not have a meat tenderizer or mallet. A $2 rolling pin does a better job. Pound the meat however you like without tearing apart. Around the bone, I use the end of the rolling pin to flatten the meat. This is important because the bone does not transfer heat very well, and the meat around the bone tends to undercoat if you are not careful. The next step is to season the chops with salt, coat them lightly with flour, dip them in the eggs, and finally dredge them with breadcrumbs. At this point, the chops can be refrigerated or even frozen until you need them, which I often do. For the sauce, I sauteed the mushrooms that I cut earlier. When the mushroom browned, I added beef bouillon and water and seasoned with soy sauce, garlic powder, and onion powder. This is the base. To turn it into tonkatsu sauce, I need sweet and sour components, so I added tomato ketchup and sugar. I tasted a few times and adjusted seasoning and sprinkled some crushed peppers. This would just sit and be thickened later with cornstarch right before I serve. It's 5:30 p.m. My pregnant wife is very hungry. It is time to finish my sauce and cook the pork chops. While the oil is preheating, I'm finishing the sauce with cornstarch and water. I should not have done this over a hot pot of hot oil because even a drop of water could have caused a lot of splashing and I could have been oil burned. The sauce is done without any drama. Let's talk about cast iron skillet. Many people like to use the cast iron skillet to sear meats, especially steak. While it's great at that, you can get a similar result with a stainless steel pan or carbon steel pan. In my opinion, the cast iron skillet really excels in shallow frying in home cooking. There is no competition at all, and I'll show you the reason. I preheated oil to about 375 Fahrenheit and dropped the pork chops. I checked the temperature again and the oil was about 360 degrees Fahrenheit. If I were using a non-stick aluminum pot or even stainless pot, the oil would have dropped to low 300 or even below 300. This can result in soggy fried pork chops. Working with the cast iron skillet is simply a joy in this application. If you flip the meat and see a big white spot in the middle, just spoon some hot oil over it. It should go away very soon. When the pork chops are done, I let them rest on a strainer and let any excess oil to drip and heated frozen peas. Now I have the chops, sauce, and peas ready and rice in the rice cooker. It is time for plating. The most crucial thing about this plating is that it needs to be simple and clean. You do not want to be overly fancy. And here's where my wife and I differ. I like sauce on the meat, and yes, use some loose on crispiness, but the breading absorbs the sauce and you get more harmonized flavor. Also, the bottom is not touching the sauce, so it remains crispy anyways. But my lady is a sauce on the side type of a person, so I put the sauce on the side for her. It was another successful meal, and the best part was the sauce. It was just amazing. It had a right combination of sweet and sour, meatiness, and spiciness. I should have wrote down the recipe so I can make it again. And also the meat around the bone, it was chewy and so sweet. Thank you for watching.